pieces of black history in Texas City have been demolished. Now, landowners are fighting back. These claims come from a lawsuit against the state of Texas and the city of Texas City. The city's African American Historic Preservation Committee is asking for more than $250,000 for the demolition of Lincoln High School's auditorium, days before a scheduled court hearing to protect it. The land the auditorium was built on holds a lot of history. Vera Bell Gary says her grandfather, who was once enslaved, passed it down to her. All those years ago, now he and 3 other men saved their money to invest in the property. She joins me in studio with Chelsea Gary and attorney Ralph Maggianello. We must also note we've reached out to the Texas City government for response, and so far we have not heard back for a comment. So Ralph, first of all, tell us exactly, what are we dealing with here?
Well, what's going on in Texas City is the mayor, Johnson, and his fire marshal are taking and destroying people's properties without due process. And what happened here is the Gary's family, they owned the land that the Lincoln Auditorium was on, which is an iconic symbol of black history in Texas City and a black symbol of black heritage throughout the country, honestly. And they went and demolished it without due process, without a notice of a hearing, without letting them know it was going to happen. And Charlisa came up on it, and the building was gone.
Now, was there a hearing that they didn't know about, or there was no hearing and no notice whatsoever?
Both. But within a matter of 5 days, the mayor had sent Ms. Vera and the organization a letter saying that they had 10 days to respond. 3 days later, they filed an emergency motion to have the building abated. And within 2 days of that, the building was gone. So within 5 days of the letter being mailed out, it was gone without them having notice of anything.
Now, Ms. Vera, what did this building, what did this auditorium mean for you?
The auditorium meant quite a bit to me. I was reared in the Markham Drive. It is a community that's founded by 4 slaves from the Butler Ranch in Big City. And on the emancipation party, the slaves were free. They had to find a place to live. So they wanted to live in the mark. There's Judge Jones, who was the county judge. He knew the slaves were going to be freed. So he set aside 230 acres of land, the only property the slaves could buy. So 4 of these slaves from the Butler Ranch are my people. They were the Bells. I am a Bell. Mm-hmm. They were Britons, Hapgoods, Caldwells. Caldwell, I'm related to my grandfather. He was given away at 9 years old from Louisiana and brought to Texas to slave boys. So he knew nothing other than being a cowboy. Mm-hmm. The ranch they were working on and where they lived were ranchers' cattle raisers. And these 4 slaves were so good until they would be the ones that were on this Chisholm Trail and drive these cattle from Texas to Kansas to the market. So after they were free, they continued to work as slaves. Mm-hmm. They're in Big City at the Butler Plantation. They saved the money, then they were getting paid and bought property. They meant so much to them to own property.
And that's what we now know as this property. So
that
Chelsea
is the 230 acres they bought in that.
Okay, let's bring in Chelsea real quick. Chelsea, your thoughts about this situation where family members have worked blood, sweat, and tears, and all of a sudden, through the swipe of a pen and demolition, it's now gone.
It's really upsetting because we were not given due process. My biggest deal, or my my concern was the fact that we had no forewarning of this until it was actually going on. So it's concerning. It seems like it is going on more often than not, and it's something that needs to be talked about.
Now, was this a facility currently being used, abandoned? And so for those who say if it was abandoned, not being used, what's the big deal?
Well, the big deal is the fact that it was one of the last standing black or portions of a black school on the mainland. So it had a lot of historical value. We had the property maybe about almost 2 years. It hadn't even been 2 years. We were working to try to restore it as a community center, which would be something that was needed in that area in West Texas City.
Isaiah, since January of 2022, there's been 111 properties demolished in Texas City by this mayor. He's aggressively destroying these properties without due process. This isn't the only family that's had to go through this. And what it is happening is the mayor and his fire marshal are going in, deciding that the building needs to be demolished, demolishing it, then filing a tax lien against the property, going to the people and say, well, you don't have money to pay this tax lien, so you might as well sign your property over to Texas City. And what was happening in this particular case is this family was not wanting to give up their property, and he was asking them, please donate it, and they said, well, we're willing to work with you, but come to us with a plan. What do we need? And so he asked them, well, get a structural engineer to say that this property is viable and safe. And they got a structural engineer to say that it was viable and still in decent shape. And within months after that, it's leveled.
All right. Well, keep us updated. We want to thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor YouTube Sphere. Appreciate your time tonight.